Hey guys, welcome back to my guitar studio. At this time, I'm gonna play through and showcase to you part 2 of the Matchless Laurel Canyon amp. And you know, me being a huge fan of Julian Lage, as soon as I laid hands on this capture with my tele and I played some chords, I couldn't help myself to record, humble homage to this amazing guitar player and to this amazing song that he recorded on his latest or previous record. So I took my chances on improvising and playing the Nocturne, and let's go through the tones. Pretty simple one, not that much to it, and let's start it. Let's go. So let's open ToneX here, and you guys are gonna see that as usual, even though I'm playing with a cleanish tone, I'm using an edge of breakup warm cab because I like to play with my volume knob a little bit to clean up the guitar tone. And straight out of the bat, this is my tone of the recording without reverb, delay, and all those things that I'm gonna explain to you in a minute. So this is straight up my tone. Okay, a little bit of breakup, of course, it's an edge of breakup. My signal chain, yes, of course, sorry to skip that part. This is an American Vintage Telecaster 52 reissue with Lawler pickups, as always, I love them. Guitar with treble bleed, guitar cable interface volt 476p with the gain turned off. There's no input gain on my interface. So, and my input here on ToneX is on about 9.5 because it's single coils, very low output. So this is the capture. Let me flat this thing out for you, just for you to see that there's a little difference from the capture, right out of the package, and to the things that I do. So. What I usually do, my drill already, turn down the bass a little bit just because I'm using an edge of breakup capture, and the bass frequencies are the frequencies that pushes the amp the most. So I want it to be distorted, but not that much, and I don't want the bass content to lose control. One more time, this is an homage to a deluxe reverb. It has some tweaks. So the bass on this capture, on this amp, it doesn't flat out like a real deluxe reverb or some of those vintage Fender amps. So this is pretty much controlled as it is on 5, but I still want to tame the bass frequencies down because I need that space to be fulfilled with the bass, all right? So that's what I do. I pushed up the mids, and you might say, but Julian Lage recorded this song with a tweed amp. And that's a thing about, this particular capture. To my ears, the Laurel Canyon has a little bit of more of mid-range, which depending on how you play it and how you set it, it will get as a slightly, hint of a tweed amp. Especially if you have this tele has a really great low end, and it does this distortion that the tweeds are famous for. So it's not that scooped, and that's part of the signature, and that's part of the tweaks that Matchless did to a deluxe reverb kind of circuit. Okay. On the track, I'm taming the knobs here, and I've making these videos, I discovered that I always lower one or a raise one. So if it's on 5, I turn. So if I'm going to turn down, I turn down to 4, and if I'm going to turn it up, I turn it up to 6. I don't know. It's just what feels comfortable and right to my ears. And the presence, I'm rolling it off a little bit to my 3.5 setting, and that's it. As you guys already know, I'm not a big fan of ToneX's and IK Multimedia's reverb in this case. So I have one more time the TSR1 reverb from Softtube, which at this time is set to be a vintage 224 plate, like a lexicon. This is a very airy reverb, with a lot of more tail than I usually use, but for this purpose. Okay, so it has a very, very long tail to it, and it's kind of brighter than I would use, despite the fact that the tone is rolled off here, but it's bright. Okay, next thing is of course LA2A compressor. Okay, not compressing much. You see on this track I'm playing even lighter than I usually play with the rock and roll tracks, because it's a so the needle is barely moving. At tops like a 1 dB gain reduction. If I play hard, which is not the case on this track, but the compressor is there if I need to tame down the thing. All right. Next, pretty straightforward API channel strip, which I'm highlighting the 5K here and bumping up a little bit of the mids of the 700. High passing it about 60. The compressor is off. And there's that. So without the channel strip, with the channel strip. Without. And you might ask, oh, but bro, this is counterintuitive. You are, lowering the high end on the ToneX capture and then, recovering it here on the channel strip. Yes, I am, because it's a capture. It's not like turning the knobs of an amp. The Carly's already set the amp, so those things that I do, lowering down the presence and the treble, are just a smidge just to tame down the capture itself. And then I'm here, being very specific and very thorough on the frequencies that I want to be highlighted or, tamed down. So on ToneX, I don't have that control. It's a presence knob. Who knows what he's doing? I mean, if you read the manual, it tells you what it's doing. So, but I'm being very specific about this frequencies that I want to highlight. And of course, I'm doing what every guitar player does when he or she records an album, which is post-processing. Even the slightest one, there's always post-processing stuff. No records, on planet Earth was recorded and the guy just, just put it in there. Don't go through a channel strip or a compressor or whatever. So there's that. Okay, you don't need to do this to get great tone, and I'm gonna show you within the mix that it's just for me to get the guitar right in your face. You see, just wait for it. Okay, for this track, I'm using another delay. which is not my trustworthy tape echoes from Softtube. Now it's the Galaxy. It's kind of a tape echo, but it's a different one, okay? It's a Galaxy tape echoes. I love this thing to create slapback effects and to increase even more the tail of a reverb, especially if I'm using plate and I add the slapback, so I can mix the lushness of the plate reverb with the bounciness of the a spring reverb, which is it's not a spring reverb, but you'll see. So without the reverb, with the Galaxy tape echo. So it has that bounciness, of course, way more than a spring reverb and more present, but and it gives the reverb more of an extension. Okay. Last but not least, I use a tape plugin here from Softtube. And you guys might ask, oh, you want it for the warmth and plugin this is like a placebo effect. This is not tape, blah, blah, your own digital. I don't use it for that. I don't care for that. I use this plugin for this specific control, the speed stability of the tape. So this is without the tape. Now with the tape engaged. It gives me that wobbly, the control says it itself. So let me turn it up so you guys can, feel it. Gives me that Tarantino vibe. Bridge pickup. I'm gonna save that riff. It's a great riff for a track. Just came up with it. You see, those captures and those things inspires you to do stuff. That's my point here. It's not just, oh, I wanna, came up with a guitar sound just like the amp. I don't care about the amp. I care about the inspiring part. Those captures are capable of that, the same as the amp does. So this is the same thing. I got inspired. I'm gonna check out the recording and come up with a new track. You guys just wait for it. So wobbly. Of course, I don't go that extreme, so I go about 65-ish, 67. I love that effect. And believe it or not, that's about it. That's the tone. There's not much into it. I went for this kind of lo-fi vibe because the song is, I think, from the 30s or 40s, if I'm not mistaken. It has this beautiful, beachy, well, I don't know, I will be, making up stuff here. It has this cool vibe, and I thought this would fit both the slapback echo and the tape would give the certain vibe to the tone. Let's play back the song, and I'm gonna turn off the tape, the compressor, and the channel strip, so you can realize for yourself that you can still get great tones without doing those post-processing stuff. You can, if you want to be a recording artist or a guitar player, session player, or whatever. You have to manage to do those kind of tricks and knowing what you want. But if you just want to, hook up the guitar, get great sounds, and be inspired, those captures are capable of doing that. So let's go through the track and have a listen to the mix without the plugins. I'm gonna play a little bit with the plugins turned on, and then I'll turn it off one by one. Let's go. On. Off. Great sounds. Channel strip. Compressor. Tape. Off. Just the reverb is on. No reverb. Delay. So either way, without anything, with everything, this is still inspiring and this is still a great tone. There's nothing much, there's nothing better than, hook up the guitar and plug it into a capture. I'm not a collector. So this is me getting inspired through the captures and making music with it. Of course, I have fun with it. I'm a big nerd. Of course, I have fun with it. Thinking about, architecting the tones and, this deserves a delay and etc. So I'm that nerd. I have fun with it. Even when I'm, gigging and working, those kinds of stuff makes me want to play the guitar more. And that's all about it. Like, if the thing makes you play the guitar more, it's a great thing. All right. So that's a wrap, guys. There's nothing much more that I can tell you about this tone. There's just Telecaster and some, not magic tricks, but some of the plugins to get the vibe right and to get the tones that I had in my head regarding this great composition, great chord progression. And of course, what inspired me the most was Julian Lage's playing. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys again pretty soon, I hope. Have a good one. See you later.